Now, as we mentioned earlier, the response and desire to help survivors in Japan is an ongoing effort, and the Japanese Art and Cultural Center of San Jose is facilitating donation matching program. So we'll also have an opportunity to learn more about the center right now. My guests are Akihiro Omi, who is the board chair and acting executive director, who was a driving force behind the Olympic karate movement, and Bruce Mendenhall, who is an Aikido instructor at the center. Welcome to you both. Thank you for being here.
Thank you for having us.
Thanks for inviting
Nice
us.
to
Yes,
meet you.
glad to have you. And Akihiro, I'll start with you because you're from Japan. Are your loved ones and family members safe, any that you knew over there?
Well, fortunately, yes. All of my family members are safe.
I'm very glad to know that. Now, the center is working with matching donations with the American Red Cross.
Yes.
And how does that program work?
Actually, we are working with several Silicon Valley corporations with donation matching programs.
Okay.
So we are asking people to take advantage of their generosity by donating, to us. We'll, find a company that will match their donation.
That's wonderful. And of course, there are many relief efforts that are underway and benefit concerts. And we're at the end of our segment, we'll show information on the screen so you'll be able to contact them to get more information about how you can support survivors.
Yes.
Yes. And we thank you both for being here today. When I was reading more about the center and just hearing about the work that you do with martial arts, this is a long-time dream of yours. You work in San Mateo and you created the center, and now you have martial arts, you have abacus classes, and so many things. And Bruce, as an Aikido instructor, one of the things that you teach is about the mental preparation. We often think about the physical, but what mentally is important to prepare for someone to become a martial arts master?
Yeah, I think the mental and the spiritual training is all part of the process, and it's not really a separate kind of preparation. Everything you do should be a kind of physical training as well as building up your discipline and your concentration. So it's a very kind of holistic approach to developing yourself to a well-rounded person.
Yes. And Akihiro, for the youth who are Japanese American, do you find that it's a struggle sometimes for them to understand the importance of the culture?
Actually, it might be other way around. Many of my American students, they understand the Japanese culture and its virtue and significance quite deeply. So I'm very impressed.
Yes, and the mental preparation that a samurai warrior has is what you try to impart. Can you talk a little bit about how that evolved? Because they were community leaders.
Yes, they were. The samurai at that time was a community leader. They were the civil servant, they were the politicians, they were the teachers, they were the medical doctors, and all the important functions of the society or the community were performed by the samurai class. And they trained themselves to prepare for whatever the community might need them for. So the part of the training was Zen meditation, and part of their training was the martial arts that they studied and trained all their lives as a moving meditation.
Yes, and that's an important part of this. Bruce, I've heard about Aikido that the way you defeat your opponent is moving with the opponent. Can you explain a little bit about that?
Yeah, that's right. The basic idea of Aikido is not to meet aggression with equal aggression or try to overcome an enemy directly or an opponent directly, but to neutralize their aggressive energy. And that involves learning how to blend with an attack, meaning adapting to the motion that's coming at you, and then being able to pin the opponent or throw them without injuring yourself and without injuring your attacker. So that's the kind of new idea in this martial art. Most martial arts used to be the focus was crushing your opponent and disabling as quickly as possible. So it's kind of a new concept.
Yes, and that's one that you impart in the classes. We have some lovely belts here. I know people are familiar with the black belt, which is the highest level. I love the purple and the green. At what level? Yellow is the beginning, right?
Actually, the colors differ from school to school.
Okay.
But we start with white, then yellow, orange, red, and gets a little darker and darker every time.
Yes.
These are, tools to keep students motivated.
Yes, I only got the white one in Taekwondo, but maybe one day I can restart. I'd
Please
love to
come
have the
join
purple
us.
one.
I'd love to have you.
I think that that's something that really is so helpful during these times of stress too, because the whole idea of the meditation and being involved with focus during even being prepared, we've been talking about emergency preparation.
Yes.
And so I think whatever you can do to mentally be ready is important.
Yes, very much so. Our martial arts in Japan was mostly developed during the peacetime. So it's not as much of fighting as self-development and character building. And, it will definitely help anybody stay calm.
Yes. Well, I want to thank you both for being here. I want to come to the classes. Maybe we'll get a camera out there and get some instruction because I think it's so important. And thank you for the work that you're doing.
Well, may I have a moment to thank the American people?
Of course.
Yes. Well, I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the American public on behalf of the Japanese people for your generosity and kind assistance. And I respect the American people very much, and you are making the world a better place just by being you and what you do. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. We appreciate that. And if you'd like to continue to support survivors in Japan, information about the centers on our screen and also on their website. So thank you again.
Thank you, Janice.
Well, now, early